Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will be discussing a new chapter with you all. I will be discussing a chapter by the name of Lost Spring. Lost Spring Stories of Stolen Childhood. It is written by Anis Jung, and the name of the book from which the extract has been extracted is Lost Spring Stories of Stolen Childhood. Basically, here the author analyzes the grinding poverty and traditions which condemn means to curse these children to a life of exploitation. So, ultimately, poverty is a big factor. Grinding poverty is a big factor that ultimately led these children to a life of exploitation from a very young age, from a very early age. So the first case study or the story is related with Sahib. Sahib is a rack picker, and the name of the place is Simapuri. We'll get to know about it as we move on. See, it is written at the very top. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. This is actually a quoted line told by Sahib to the author Anis Jung. Now let us start, and it will be more clearer to us as we move along with this particular story or case study that is related with Sahib. Why do you do this? Quote unquote. I asked Sahib, I means the author, because she interacted with a few boys like Sahib. And after interaction, interacting with them for a long time, after spending quite a long time with them, she arranged all those interviews and finally she has written this book. So we find at the very beginning that she is having a conversation with a rack picker, and the name of the rack picker is Sahib. So the first line is, why do you do this? I ask Sahib, whom I encounter. Encounter means whom I see every morning scrounging for gold in the garbage dumps of my neighborhood. Now, Sahib is a boy whom I encounter every time early in the morning, and I found him doing a bit of rack picking. Now, this line is very ironical, scrounging for gold. Gold here means survival, existence. And early in the morning, Sahib is very much active along with many other boys like him, and they go on searching or scrounging for gold in the garbage dumps of the neighborhood of the author. Now, she interacted with Sahib as been told by me earlier, and this particular case study, or rather to say, this particular story dealt with the information that she gathered in course of interacting with Sahib. So let us continue. Say, Sahib left his home long ago. Okay, so this is not his actual place or ancestral place because he left his home quite a long time ago. Set amidst. Amidst means in the midst. The green fields of Dhaka, that is in Bangladesh. His home is not even a distant memory. Now he doesn't remember anything about his home, but he knew the fact that from his mother only he get to know about it, that their ancestral home is in Dhaka, that is in Bangladesh, and it used to be in a green field, surrounded by green fields, and he has a distant memory, we can say, not a very concrete memory about his ancestral home in Dhaka. Whatever information he is delivering to the author, he got those information from his mother. There were many storms. There is an indication of natural calamities. There were many storms that swept away their fields and homes. Now, storms, natural calamities, okay, it has destroyed their fields and homes. That means they used to be farmers. They used to have fields of their own. But because of natural calamities, it had destroyed their fields and homes. His mother tells him, that's why they left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. That is the reason. That is the reason he left. That is the reason his family left. Because everything has been destroyed. Their source of income has been totally destroyed. And it was the green fields that was their source of income. So they had no other option left for them. So they left their original ancestral home and decided to move to another place for survival. Now, let me move on to the next line. Again, a quoted line has been given. I have nothing else to do, he mutters, looking away. Now, in the course of the interaction with the author, Saheb tells the author that he has nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. So, he is doing this rack picking. Go to school, I say glibly. Glibly means casually, realizing immediately how hollow the advice must sound. Now, immediately, the author promptly replied that why don't you go to school? Why don't you study? But the advice is very hollow. It is not. It doesn't have any depth in it. It is very hollow advice because it is next to impossible for a boy like Saheb to educate himself. Not only for a boy like Saheb, boys like Saheb, it is very difficult for them, despite they are very much eager to read and learn, but they lead their life in grinding poverty, or rather to say, they are exploited every now and then. There is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go. Very frank statement. And it seems that, as I told you, the author is having interaction with Saheb. So Saheb told her that there is no school in my neighborhood. Definitely, when there will be a school, definitely I will go. If I start a school, will you come? I ask. Okay, so uh, the author promptly replied in whatever Saheb told to her, that there is no school in his neighborhood. Now, the author told Saheb that if she starts a school, will Saheb enroll himself in that school? Now, it was a casual comment on the part of the author because it is written half joking. That means it was a casual comment. The author never meant it seriously. Okay, it was a very casual comment, or a comment that was being told in a half joking manner. Yes, he says, smiling broadly. Definitely, why not? I am very eager to educate myself. I am very much eager to read and learn. Definitely, if a school is opened by you, definitely I will come. A few days later, I see him running up to me. Is your school ready? Look at the sense of urgency. He wants to study, he wants to educate himself. And that is the reason, few days later, when he interacts with the author once again, he is very much desperate to know from her whether her school is ready or not. See this line, is your school ready? He is very desperate to know about it, whether her school is ready or not, so that he can study there at least. It takes longer to build a school. I say embarrassed means very much uncomfortable at having made a fake promise. Rather, it's a fake promise only that was not meant. Now, it was a very uncomfortable situation for the author. She was very embarrassed because she knew at the back of her mind that it is not easy to build a school, but promises like mine abound in every corner of his bleak world. It seems that Saheb is habituated with all these hollow promises, and promises are never meant to be fulfilled in his case, as in the case of many other boys like him who are rack pickers, because fake promises or hollow promises, it surrounds his bleak world. Bleak means dark world. It seems that many people make many promises to them, but ultimately those promises turned up to be hollow promises. Those promises are never fulfilled. So, Saheb, or boys like Saheb, they are habituated with this sort of behavior. So, it's something that's quite normal with them, it's something that is quite usual with them. After months of knowing him, dear students, I'm now moving to the next paragraph. After months of knowing him, I asked him his name. Now, after a few months of interacting with him and having a friendly relationship with him, now after that, the author asked Saheb, what is your full name? Sahib-e-Alam, he announces, he proudly announces, my name is Sahib-e-Alam. He does not know what it means, but he doesn't know the exact meaning of his name. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the universe, he would have a hard time believing it. Now, the main significance of the name is that Sahib means Lord of the universe. Now, if he knew that his name means Lord of the universe, it will be a very difficult time for him to believe, because it's a great irony that his name is Lord of the universe and he is a rag picker whose daily routine starts from the morning till afternoon time, searching for gold in the garbage dumps, that is, searching for uh, precious things. And obviously that garbage dump, searching for gold, all these are related with the grinding poverty and the pitiable or the miserable existence in which not only he but many other boys like him suffer and endure every time, because scrounging the garbage dumps is ultimately their source of survival. Dear students, I'm repeating once again, scrounging the garbage dumps is their only source of survival, because they follow this tradition, they have learned it from their parents and they are used to it and they follow it each and every day early from the morning. So I repeat one more time these lines. After months of knowing him, I asked him his name. Sahib-e-Alam, he announces. He does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the universe, he would have a hard time. Hard time means he would have a very difficult time believing it. Unaware of what his name represents, he roams the streets with his friends. Now, he is not bothered about what is the real meaning of his name or what is the real significance of his name. Unaware of all these things, early in the morning, he goes out on a mission along with many of his friends who are also rag pickers like him. So I repeat, unaware of what his name represents, he roams the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. Now, the main routine of this army of barefoot boys, it is they appear during the morning time and they disappear by the afternoon time. Over the months, I have come to recognize each of them. Now, it seems that a case study, a research was being done by the author herself, and over the months, she got to know each and every one of them. Their life is poverty stricken life, miserable, pitiable life. Despite they want to be educated, as we can find, there is a sense of urgency. There is a great interest in Sahib also. We find that he is very much eager to learn. He is very much eager to educate himself, but unfortunately he can't. He is pressurized to do a work of a rag picker, just like his family members used to do, and they had taught him to be this or to do this work, just like not only Sahib, the other boys like him. So they used to roam around the streets, an army of barefoot boys, as been told by Anis Jung, the author herself, and they are very much proactive, very much active during the wee hours of the morning. That means they are very much active during the early hours of the morning, and by the afternoon time, they disappear. They are never seen, or hardly they are seen, but they are seen most of the time during the morning time. And another important thing is that we get to know that in due course of time, she had interacted with every one of them. And not only she had interacted with every one of them, in due course of time, she have built a good rapport with each one of them. She recognized each one of them. And it seems that she used to have a conversation not only with Sahib, but many other boys like Sahib. So, dear students, I stop here in this audio presentation. In my next audio presentation, I will be continuing from the next line. Dear students, kindly go through this audio presentation, and if there is any problem anywhere, kindly let me know about it. Thank you, students. Thank you all.